everyone, welcome to another Book Review Wednesday. Apologize, this video is unfortunately being uploaded late. I was busy yesterday and did not have time to upload videos, but I should be caught up by the end of today, and there might be a delay Saturday and Sunday. I'm not entirely sure how my schedule is going to go, but we'll see. So without further ado, let me address what I wanted to talk about for this particular Book Review Wednesday, and that is the short story A Christmas Memory, written by Truman Capote, I think is how you pronounce the last name. So basically, this particular piece takes place within the Depression era of the 1930s, within the United States. And the narrator of this particular short story is a boy named Buddy, who I believe they say is, or at least from what I could tell, is 7, who is very close to his elderly cousin, who is an older woman. I think she's supposed to be like in her 60s or something like that. And basically, he grows up with that older cousin and also a lot of other relatives. And a lot of the other relatives are really stern and strict with him. And his cousin is really the only one who really allows him that kind of childlike freedom and innocence to sort of blossom, and curiosity and whatnot, and mischief. So you can see why within the short story the cousin as well as Buddy's relationship is at the forefront and probably the most important. And they also live in fairly poor conditions, as a lot of people lived around the 1930s time. And they basically sort of save up money so that they can go buy certain things. And this story also reflects onto various tragedy, and a lot of that involves Buddy's character. But he's still kind of reminded of the sort of simple joys and memories that he has with his cousin, and in particular around Christmas time, since the story does take place around Christmas time. And I think a lot of what this particular short story was trying to get across, and since it's told through a child's perspective, is the concept of letting sort of kids be kids, letting them kind of explore and let them, have their little adventures and kind of let them be happy and enjoy life, because that's really something that Buddy, I think at least throughout, sort of felt constrained to because of all of the other relatives who really didn't understand him except his elderly cousin. And you sort of see that connection and how that's something very sort of, I think, fundamental to a lot of what Christmas provides, which is that sense of, childhood, and the fact that, you're using your curiosity, you're using your mischievousness, you're exploring the world, so to speak, you're not confined. And I think that the story was trying to touch upon how it's important to let these important qualities of childhood be a part of a child's life, and not to, force children kind of into a corner, which again I think sometimes can happen, unfortunately, in some instances, depending on who's raising the kid. So I think it was really trying to touch upon those various points, and I think did so fairly well. And there are certain points too where it does again feel like a story, with sort of a beginning, middle, and end. But at the same time, it is a lot more of a character piece, in the sense that there's not a huge amount of plot focus, because it goes from Buddy and the cousin doing one particular thing and then them doing another thing, and so it just kind of goes from one place to another. But overall, its message, I think, shines through, and its overall execution, as far as the way in which it's written, is also, I think, well crafted as well. So, if you're interested in reading any particular short stories, I would say that one is definitely worthy of recommendation. But I think that's really ultimately all I can say about this particular short story. If there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year, and Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. Bye-bye.